that's also sits at the heart of contemporary sociology and development studies in the contemporary arena. So let me work on the let me share the contents of the presentation now. Without issue. Wait a bit. Okay. Wait a bit. Okay. Okay. Sorry for the technical error. My dear ladies and gentlemen, these are the contents of my presentation today. At first, I would be discussing about the contemporary social challenges, and then I would move to why do social challenges become global. I will also touch upon some of the major contemporary challenges like global poverty, income inequality, climate change, migration, refugees, digital transformation, public health challenges, education challenges, gender inequality, urbanization, contemporary social challenges in Sri Lanka, and of course in India, and strategies for addressing all these social challenges at present. Then I will conclude my presentation today. Okay, so first of all, we must understand what social challenges are. Social challenges are social challenges refers to complex social problems that affect societies and require collective action at local, national, international level. So in the society, we come across a number of social challenges these days affecting the society at large level, and it requires collective action at local, national, international level to address those kinds of problems. So when it comes to understanding the characteristic of the social challenges or social problems, we may say that some of these social challenges may be in global nature because it is universal issues. Those are universal issues, so it may be global in nature. And those social challenges are very much interconnected and dynamic. And of course, it has multidimensional effects and long-term consequences in the society. Okay, so in the next slides, I'm going to be talking about why do social challenges become global. So there are 6 interrelated processes explain the globalization of social challenges. The first, the globalization itself. As we are citizens of this global village, actually, the globalization refers to interconnectedness. The global, all the villages have become a global village, and the markets, cultures, and ideas, flows out of the boundaries, span across societies, and so on and so forth. So those are refers to globalizations. So the intensification of interconnected market and cultural flows and ideas, refers to globalizations. And the second one is also the urbanizations. As a result of urbanizations, all these issues become global. Urbanizations, as you know, that refers to rapid growth of societies worldwide. More than half the population now lives in societies, creating both opportunities and concentrated vulnerability. And third one is about technological advancements. So technological advancements in the sense digital network that transmit information, capital, and risk intentionally across borders. And the fourth one is about economic interdependence. Um, Economic interdependence in the sense shared supply chains and financial systems means that crises in one region quickly become systematic. Um, and the fifth one is about political conflicts, cross-border instability and spillover. So, in the sense, with cross-border spillovers of refugees, arms, and instability, political conflict become global these days. And the last one, which is most important, and at the same time, we are contemporary facing these challenges across the world, even in Sri Lanka. That is the most important issue which we call climate change, true planetary challenge, which is a true planetary challenge at the moment. So um, the first truly planetary challenge that respects no sovereignty. So across the boundaries, across the boards, each and every country is facing the climate change issues these days. So these processes compress space and times, turn in local issues into a global phenomena these days. So um, the major contemporary challenges are now we are supposed to look at some of the major contemporary social challenges that we are facing as human being, not only in Sri Lanka but also in India and across the world. These are some of the social challenges that we are facing: poverty, inequality, climate change, migrations, unemployment, digital divides, public health, aging populations, food security, human rights, and so on and so forth. So these are some of the issues that I have highlighted, but there are many more challenges that we are facing at the moment as citizens of the world. We encounter a number of challenges, but these are the more specific challenges that we as citizens of India and Sri Lanka come across daily or in the contemporary era in our lifestyles, in our day-to-day life. So the landscape is very much crowded, and the most pressing are these challenges. And I will examine some of these challenges in greater depth. For instance, I would like to highlight um, the global poverty. For instance, I would say that millions still live below international poverty threshold. These are some of the facts and figures. Unequal access to education and healthcare, and poverty remain concentrated in developing regions as a result of inequality, economic inequality, conflict, poor governance, and limited opportunities. Global poverty has become a major challenge these days across the world. So I would highlight that some of the statistic that I have got at the moment, according to the World Bank March 2026 poverty inequality platform updates. Um, Approximately 847 million people, roughly 10% of the global population, live in extreme poverty in 2020. That means 10% of the global populations live in extreme poverty in 2024. Nowcast projects a modest decline to 10% by 2026. So there's a little decline over these statistic, but the problem has become more phenomenal, and problem has been accentuated over the days actually. The progress since 1990s has been dramatic from roughly 2.3 billion people, yet the pace reduction has slowed markedly over the past decades. Extreme poverty is increasingly concentrated in sub-Saharan Africa, in fragile and conflict-affected situation. In 2024, an estimated 451 million people in fragile contexts lived in extreme poverty, 5 times the rate elsewhere. 1 in 5 children globally still lives in extreme poverty, approximately 412 million children 24 actually. So this is some of the statistic actually that portrays about the global poverty across the world actually. So the next uh, next slide talks about the income inequality. This is also one of the greater challenges that we are facing at the moment, not only in India, but also in Sri Lanka and some of the developing countries. For instance, key issues are, which I have highlighted, key issues of coming under the income inequality, wealth concentrations. 38 percentage of the global wealth held up by 1% of the populations, and 800 million people live below poverty line. So that means the people who are drawing $3 per day equal has become have become the equivalents of 800 million people. Those 800 million people are living below the poverty line actually. So 38 the larger margin, 38% of the global wealth held by only 1% of the population. This income level, this wealth concentration is very much marginal. At the same time, this is, of course, the income inequality remains the higher and significant problems in the world. At the same time, wage disparities remains major problem in the current world. Um, and uh, and of course, the gender inequality is also there. Education inequality is also there. So this causes a lot of problems, a lot of impacts. Social unrest becomes as a result of income inequality, social unrest. It causes social unrest. It causes crimes. It causes poor health. It also causes political instability. Um, when it comes to climate change, um, climate change is no longer a distant environmental issues. It is a profound social crisis. Its manifestations include intensifying natural disasters, food shortages, water scarcity, climate-induced displacement, and heightened health risks. Floods, heat waves, wildfire, droughts are already reshaping livelihoods. UNHCR data show that three-quarters of the world forcibly displaced people live in countries with high to extreme exposures to climate hazards. Over the past decades, weather-related disasters have caused some 250 million people internal displacements, roughly 70,000 people per day. By mid-2025, 117 million people were displaced by conflict, violence, and persecutions, the vast majority in climate vulnerable settings. So these are some of the social impact caused by the climate change these days. And at the same time, we are also facing the migration issues, refugees issues across the world as a result of war, poverty, climate change, and political stability. It causes the issue of, as a result of migration refugees, it causes the problems of integration. All those who are become refugees or migrants have, find it very difficult to integrate with local populations. And they also find it very difficult to find employment opportunities, which leads to poverty. And they have hard time in finding houses. And they live in live in slums, in roads and some of the unhealthy environments. And they have, cultural issues. They find it very difficult to adapt with the cultural setting of the local population. So as a result of migration refugees, we face a number of challenges. And the in the current arena, we also have the issues of digital transformations. But digital transformation provides an opportunity for our Gen Z population, the current Gen Z populations, to perceive our education online via online. For instance, I would say that I have currently joined with you via online as a result of digital transformations. Even though I live in Sri Lanka, thousands of miles away, I have been able to join with you with the development of the digital transformations via online. So that's a positive development, of course. And we have the artificial intelligence, which is phenomenal. And the Gen Z population is very much glued with artificial intelligence. Its tools are very much used by the Gen Z population, younger generation. And we have the telemedicine as well. So those days, people used to travel abroad to seek medicine, to get their medical advice, get the medical treatment, and so on and so forth, wherever it is. But these days, as a result of digital transformation, we have the facilities of telemedicine, which provides an opportunity for us to join with, the medical consultants through the digital transformation and get our issues cured. And we have the digital economy as well, which is also rapidly developing these days. These are opportunities uh, uh, as a result of digital transformation. That's also the byproduct of digital transformation. But at the same time, digital transformations leads to some of the challenges. We are facing number of cybercrime issues these days, and we have the privacy issue. We have the misinformation, fake news, misinformation, and everyone is not able to access to digitalization. So the more affluent the society are able to access to digital facilities, and the less influence or the less privileged people have hard times to access the digital infrastructure, which also a major problem. Even in the universities and colleges these days, the students find it very difficult. The less privileged students, less affluent students who are coming from the low backgrounds find it very difficult to access to digital infrastructure as a result of their backgrounds, poverty issues, and so on and so forth. So therefore, even though digital transformation provides an opportunities for us to perceive in our streams in the current world, it also poses some challenges for the younger generation these days. Next, I also would like to talk about the public health challenges. Public health challenges like the COVID pandemic, which pose a greater threat in that began, I suppose, in the later part of 2021. Uh, so, which was it was a stark reminder of our systematic vulnerabilities. Contemporary public health challenges include the threat of future pandemic, a global mental health crisis, the rise of lifestyles and non-communicable diseases, and the pressures of aging populations. Key lessons of COVID-19 include the centrality of resilient healthcare system, necessity of international cooperations, the value of sustained scientific research, and the potential of digital health tools provided they are equitably deployed. So these are some of the examples and the lessons that we um, learn from the COVID-19 that occurred in the later part of 2021 up to 2023, I suppose. Yeah. And if we are to talk about the educational challenges, um, these days we have the uh, issues like learning inequality, as I touch a little bit about the uneven access and outcome across regions and social groups. So Educational quality. We have variation in teaching standard and learning resources. We have the digital education gaps, unequal access to devices and connectivity and digital skills. And there is a problems of mismatch. This problem prevails not only in the university educations but also in college educations as well, because all those curricula that have been incorporated and taught to the students do not match with the requirements of the the present market, employment market. So there is a gap between the education systems and the labor market needs. What we have to do in the universities and colleges is that we have to produce graduates required by the markets. Those employable graduates will be able to find job opportunities in the market once they graduate from the universities and colleges. So therefore, they won't have any problems in the job in the market to find employment opportunities soon after they are graduates, soon after they are graduated. So if we fine tune our curriculum, if we fine tune our syllabuses uh, in in uh, in uh, in expectations of the global job market, in the meeting the requirements of the global market, global job market, we may not have any problems in producing our graduates from the colleges and the universities. These are some of the problems that we are facing in the uh, in the social challenges. And we do have the gender equality as a global challenge these days. We have the problems of equal pay, both for male and female, closing the gender wage gaps. We have the problems of political participations. We find it very difficult to attract women or female to the political processes like voting, political combine and political candidacy and so on and so forth. We have the problems of, women facing challenges in education, and we have been witnessing a number of gender-based violence taking place across the societies, especially against women. And we have hard times in uh, in finding women leadership these days. But I must say that these days, women, particularly in India, are coming forward as leaders, and they are giving leadership. This is, number of challenges that the society faces. So therefore, this is a positive and of course healthy development that is taking place in the present era, especially among the younger generation, Gen Z populations. So urbanization is also one of the challenges that we are facing. So we have the problems of slums, we have the pollution issue, housing shortages, and traffic congestions, and so on and so forth as a result of urbanization. But the urbanization provides an opportunity for economic growth, innovations, and infrastructure. So when it comes to contemporary social challenges in India, in Sri Lanka, uh, South Asia illustrate the interplay of these global forces with local specifications. In Sri Lanka, 2022 economic crisis double poverty rates. Recent surveys indicate that approximately 80% of the total populations is moderately poor in Sri Lanka, and 27% of the people are multidimensionally poor. One in three household experiences food insecurity. Urban poverty has tripled since 2019. Cyclone Didwa in late 2025, where at that time, I suppose Dr. Vasudevan also came to Sri Lanka. Cyclone Dithwa in 2025, late 2025, caused hundreds of deaths and extensive damage, further straining recovery. Youth employment, out-migration of skilled workers, rising cost of living, climate vulnerability remains acute. Aging population adds long-term fiscal and care pressures. India continued to reduce extreme poverty at scales, yet faces significant challenges of youth unemployment, internal international migrations, climate-related disasters, and the need to manage rapid digital and demographic transition while addressing persistent regional and social inequalities. Both countries demonstrate that macroeconomic recovery doesn't automatically translate into household welfare recovery, especially for the most vulnerable. So these are some of the challenges that both India and Sri Lanka faces in the current era. So we need to find out some of the strategies to address these social challenges that we are facing both in India and Sri Lanka. Um, so that we may be able to overcome all these challenges. Economic responses, if sorry, the effective responses require multi-pronged approaches. So that we may be able to address those challenges. The first and foremost, we should have a good governance, transparent, accountable, and capable institutions to address all these challenges both in India and Sri Lanka. We must have an inclusive economic growth that expand opportunities for the bottom half of the distributions. We must have an educational reforms that close learning and skill gaps, and also we should have robust social protection system that shield household from shocks. We should have an international cooperation on climate finance, refugee responsibility sharing, and tax justice. And we should have technology for development, harnessing digital tools while closing the digital divides. And lastly, we must have sustainable policies that integrate environmental limits with a social inequality. Not single instrument is sufficient. Policy coherence across domains is essential. In conclusion, I would say um, uh, the four concluding propositions. Contemporary social challenges are deeply interconnected. Treating them in isolation is analytically and practically flawed. Solution demand interdisciplinary approaches that bring together sociology, economic, climate science, public health, and political science. Sustainable development is impossible without inclusive policies that place the most vulnerable at the center. Global cooperation is not optional, it's a structural necessity in an interdependent world. The scale of the challenges is daunting, yet the historic record shows that determined collective action, from the post-war expansion of welfare states to the dramatic reduction in extreme poverty in East and South Asia, can produce transformative results, actually. The task before us as scholars, policymakers, and citizens is to generate the knowledge and the political will and the institutional capacity to meet the challenges of our time with equal resource. So I think as a result of this conference, all those who have gathered here will engage in serious dialogue and discourses actually in regards to the social issues that you're facing, global issues, global challenges we are facing, and come up with policy decision, come up with various solutions that can address the global challenges that we are facing. So therefore, thank you very much for this great opportunity, and look forward to your, the feedback and discussions across, moving forward. Thank you very much. Once again,
Yeah, thank you so much,
to
sir. Thank
Dr.
you so
Bernard
much.
and Professor
Yes, sir.
Nasuddin
Yes,
for this
sir.
great opportunity. Thank
Yeah.
you, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Professor Ramesh, sir. Dear participants, now the floor is open for
Yes, sir.
discussion. Those who want to ask your doubts, you can ask your doubts. It's a beautiful presentation on the sociological concepts. He has highlighted about various social problems and with the vital statistics, right? Hope you all enjoy the session. If you have any doubts or dictions, you can ask. Then we can go with the instructions for the remaining 7 days.
Ah,
So thank you so much, sir, for your beautiful presentation. There is a network issue from here also. Dear participants, today we have formally completed the inaugural session. Uh, Tomorrow onwards, we'll be having the presentation. So the timing starts from 6 o'clock. Okay, and we have received nearly about 251 papers, both online as well as offline. 251 abstracts we have received as of now. So per day, we are giving 30 participants. So the list, everything is getting ready. Everything is ready, not getting ready. Everything is ready. We will post in the group as well as we will mail you to your registered mail ID. When you are going to present, when your submission time, when your presentation time will be there, rules and regulations, who will be chairing your session, everything we will be shared in the mail shortly. Kindly update it. And we have a paid WhatsApp group. Group is also there. Kindly be in the group till you receive the certificates and other protocols. Thank you so much for your active participation for today's event.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.